Welcome to the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast, coming at you live this Sunnyside Summer Thursday. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Three. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois MedCard holders. Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Lawrence.
Hi.
It's me, Jay, and there's Greg and Mario. We're here to talk Blackhawks.
Hello.
So there's a lot going on.
Is there?
So much going on.
So much going on. There actually is a lot going on. If you've been paying attention, The Athletic has been publishing their organizational rankings, like who has the best prospect system, and then also ranking their prospects. Corey Pronman's doing that, so we're going to tell you how that went. And depending on how the show goes, Top 10 Thursday, maybe, if we have time.
We should.
I don't think we're going to do a full show.
Yeah.
I think we should yell about Corey Pronman.
I mean, we can't. There's only so many times. How many ways can we say Corey Pronman's wrong?
Yeah. Well, we're going to tell him to his face tomorrow. He's
Yes.
going to join us at 2:30.
All yell at him tomorrow.
Yeah, 2:30 tomorrow. Corey Pronman will be here defending his stance. But let's start there. Before we do, please do us a favor. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Podcast listeners, like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. If you're watching us on Roku, channel 260, thank you very much. While you're here, might as well hit that favorite button and put CHGO Sports right there on your Roku favorites. All right, so the good news. I mean, it's all good news, kind of. The Blackhawks prospect system,
Generally,
according to Corey Pronman, is ranked number 1 in the NHL.
Sure.
Well, when you keep Connor Bedard as a prospect, sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
Connor Bedard is in there. Kevin Korchinski's in there.
Lucas Reichel is in there.
Lucas Reichel's in there. So there's some players with experience. But hey, number 1 is number 1. We don't need an asterisk.
Sure, we'll take it.
Just take
Whatever.
it. That's fine, because other teams are using the same measurements for their things too, and they're on the same list. So it's not just the Blackhawks who
They're
have good
really worried about
prospects
their
that have
prospect
played.
size.
That's right. But here's the thing.
Okay.
As we're going through the list here, number 1, Bedard. Number 2, Levshinov.
Yep.
Kevin Korchinski, Lucas Reichel, Waver.
What?
Yep. Oliver Moore.
What?
Sam Renzel, Roman Kanserov, Colton Dock, Ethan Del Mastro, Nolan Allen,
Mm-hmm.
Isaac Phillips,
Sure.
Marek Vanacker. And there at number 14 is Frank Nazar.
All right. I'm going to start by. This is why numbering guys 1 through whatever is dumb.
If only there was a triangle.
You said on Top 10 Thursday?
Yes. So, yes, but here's the other thing that frustrates me, because he has tiers too that he uses there. He says
You
tier.
stole my idea that I stole.
That he stole the idea I stole from somebody else.
As long as he doesn't steal Mailbag Monday, we're fine with it.
Or Top 10 Thursday. Those
Right.
are trademarked. But to say, well, he's already right, because he says Frank Nazar will play some NHL games. That's already happened.
Check.
Projected
All right.
to play NHL games. That's a tier.
Okay, that's going on a limb there, considering he's played 3 already. And really, what's the difference when you're breaking it down between 8 and 14? Like at that point, you're nitpicking. You know, how much talent really is there a difference between? But I'm sorry,
Reach into the choir.
if you think Nolan Allen and Isaac Phillips and even Colton Dock are better NHL prospects than Frank Nazar, how do you have a job?
Well, here's the analysis
Yeah.
on Frank Nazar from Corey Pronman. Quote, Nazar had a better sophomore season with full health. He was one of Michigan's better players and was an important player on Team USA. Nazar's game is all about speed and energy. He's a super competitive center who plays a hard two-way game. He's all about interior offense, with almost all of his offense coming at the net front area. The debate on Nazar's game, especially as a smaller forward, is whether there are enough other elements in his attack. He has good skill and vision, but I wouldn't call it high end. He projects as a bottom 6 center in the NHL.
I mean,
I'm just disconnecting between the analysis of the game and then the last sentence there.
He's the Big Lebowski. That's like your opinion, man.
Well, he's got high compete, willing to go to the difficult areas,
speed,
good skill and vision,
two-way game.
Those seem like good things to be an edge, but then it's he's small, right here.
Yeah, I
strange.
Like a small player has never been able to score a goal from within 5 feet of the net. Never happened.
Never. Yeah, I'm with you, Jay. I'm just there's a disconnect I'm seeing between, what Nazar has done, what he shows, how Corey perceives it, and then him saying that he's 14th behind some of the, some of these guys that are just like maybe never play more than the AHL. Who knows? Yeah. But I see so much more in Nazar than that. And I'm not saying I know more than Corey Pronman, but I don't know. I feel like there's either it's too critical of an eye that Corey's putting on Nazar and some of the things that maybe he's not at a higher level at and skill wise, or it's just, I don't know. Maybe Corey watches a lot of hockey, and he can't watch all of the hockey, but he watches a lot of it. So I don't know. Maybe there's just something that has slipped through the cracks, but Nazar at 14 is a vast, I feel like a vast underrating of what he brings to the table. To say he can play some NHL games as a bottom 6 forward, that's quite the undersell, I think, of Nazar. And we can get to it when we're done with Nazar. Having Lukas Reichel at 4, not only on the list, but at 4?
Yeah, that's...
Come on. He's not...
Well, he's always been
I don't
a big
think he's
guy.
Sure, but I don't think even if you're saying, yes, Lukas Reichel is still a prospect, he's not 4th.
No.
He's been passed over, honestly.
The way I would look at this, and here I want to give. So here's what in the big piece where he ranks everybody, the league wide piece, not just the Hawks piece. He gives how he determines eligibility. A player is eligible if he's 22 years old or younger as of September 15th, 2024. This encompasses almost every prospect selected between the 2020 and 2024 NHL drafts. This is done to include a team's top prospects without aggressively graduating players who have a lot of prime development years ahead of them, even if they are already in the NHL. This does not have the effect of, at times, including star NHL players while leaving off players who are still in the minors and have a chance to make the league. There is no perfect way to create player eligibility for a prospect ranking. This method has become my preference after trying all other options. So there's the qualifier. When I look at this, and I'm putting myself in the shoes of a GM, and I got a big piece to move. I got a big price free agent that I can't afford, and I want to get a top prospect back in return. Frank Nazar is probably the second or third name I'm asking about in the Blackhawks. Mm-hmm. You're not going to ask about Bedard because that's going to be a no and hang up the phone laughing.
Sure. Yeah.
Levshinov, right?
You're not.
Yeah. And then you could, however you want to slot like Korchinski, Moore, Nazar. They're playing like a 3A, B, C blob.
Lukas Reichel.
No.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have him as one of the first 5 prospects I'd want out of the system. No, I don't see that. Lukas Reichel has played 99 NHL games and turned 22 in May. So, I mean, if you want to say, oh, he's almost played 100 games and he's already 22, like I don't consider him a prospect anymore, having played 100, almost one game short of 100 NHL games, 2 full AHL seasons, basically. I don't consider him a prospect. He is a professional hockey player outside of the prospect window.
We do have a poll running on the YouTube right now. If you want to vote, where would you rank Frank Nazar among Blackhawks prospects? Top 3, between 4 and 6, between 7 and 10, and 11 or lower. We'll give you those results, if I remember, as the show goes on.
Yeah, and some of the guys that are ahead of there, like Colton Dock, I like Colton Dach. I think he can play in the NHL
Me too.
very soon, as long as he keeps, taking the proper steps forward. He feels like right on that cusp. But I would say Frank Nazar has a much better chance of making this team out of camp than a guy like Colton Dach would.
Well, I will say, if he's right, if Pronman is right, and Frank Nazar plays some NHL games as a fourth bottom six center,
and is never like a star,
then that's an indictment on the Blackhawks scouting system. And like somebody's going to lose a job if that's the case. You don't draft a guy 13th overall to play some NHL games on the bottom six. That's a miss.
Yeah,
That's a big
the only
miss.
exception would be if every other prospect pans out and hits, and then you're like, well, we're just too deep. So Frank Nazar gets Dave Boland and has to play on the third line because he happens to be on a team that good. If that's the case, awesome. But I think what Corey's doing here is using your standard NHL team, your middle of the pack NHL team, and saying Frank Nazar is a bottom six forward. Yeah, I think that would be a massive disappointment. And again, I don't think any of the three of us expect Frank Nazar to be a 100-point or point per game kind of a guy. We've been sort of, if he really hits a ceiling, 70 points kind of a guy, like certainly a secondary kind of a scorer, which is what you want to get at 13. Right. But a bottom six guy who might play some NHL games at 13, that would be bad. Yeah,
and again, I just come back to what his production was at Michigan, the way he played for Team USA, the things that Corey notes, and then the production numbers, the points he's produced, the two-way game. We've talked to Chris Peters, and we've talked to Scott Wheeler, and we've talked to Cam Robinson about Frank Nazar, and they've all raved about him. And talked about, his willingness to get to the center of the ice. There's a lot of, college high point producing prospects that have been, higher draft picks. There have been some that have played for the Blackhawks that have had that resume and never panned out because they didn't have the ability to play a committed two-way game and have an interest in playing down the middle of the ice. Frank Nazar has both of those things. So I just think there's too many things in Nazar's favor to say, yeah, he may or may not pan out as a bottom six guy. I think there's too many things that look the part of a prospect that is going to be a contributor at the NHL level way more than being a bottom roll guy.
And Nazar, to me, also has something that you can't measure by a stat or by a graph or even really just watching highlights.
The will to win.
He's got the fire and the passion, my friends. But he's got that swagger and confidence.
Yeah.
Like he stepped right in that lineup. And granted, they were playing a LA Kings team that had clinched its playoff spot, had nothing to play for. But he still went out there and
one of the better players on the ice.
From his very first shift, looked like he belonged.
Yes.
Didn't look nervous. Didn't look timid. Looked like he belonged and was like, yes, I am here. I am staying here. I am an NHL player. I'm a good NHL player.
Scoring on your first shot will help you. Help that confidence.
A few really good players have done that in the past.
Yeah.
So if I'm if I'm Luke Richardson, I photocopy that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put the number of ranking or anything. I'm not even gonna say who said it. I'm just photocopying that projection and that analysis and putting it in his locker, saying this is what they think of you. Go prove them wrong, kid.
Bulletin board material is what they call it.
Yes.
I mean, look, we were talking about early in the offseason, even late in the season, like, hey, Martin Necas, Carolina wants to move him. Would you give up a first and Frank Nazar? And I think unanimously most people are like, no, that's too much.
Yeah,
most teams should be willing to give up their 14th ranked prospect to get a guy like that. And again, maybe we're overvaluing him because we're local. Maybe we're in town stupid. But we're pretty cautious about this stuff. And we warn all the time, like, not all these guys are going to be superstar players. Mm-hmm. But to rank him behind Isaac Phillips?
And
what?
And I hate to keep, like, piling on Corey because it's just he's one guy out of
for the record,
a
he's
large
right
group.
more than he's wrong.
And yeah, he's like I
Maybe
said,
that's
he
why
knows more.
because he might be right.
Yeah,
No,
he
I
knows.
don't believe that,
He
but-
knows more about a lot of these young guys and these prospects coming up than and watches more of them than it's his job. 24/7. But I would say most of the people that we have talked to within that realm, the draft analyst, prospect analyst realm, see Frank Nazar as like one of the 3 or 4 best young guys that the Blackhawks have. So I'm not worried about it. I hope Frank sees that and says, okay, now I have more fuel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, we're going to get to Top 10 Thursday here coming up next. Top 10 right-wingers in the NHL here on the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast.
Hey, if you're in the market for a brand new car, then you need to shop summertime savings going on right now at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. Excuse me, Ram. And save on the perfect new vehicle for you. Sunnyside Summer Thursday, baby. This August, score new lower prices across the huge inventory during the Make This the Summer event. For a limited time, get 0% financing for 36 months on most of their new 2024 Jeep models, or shop over 125 vehicles priced to move at under $20,000. Let the amazing team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram thank you. Help you during each step of your car shopping journey with Ray's Price Promise. The numbers you're hearing now are the same prices that you can expect to shop in-store and online. That's because Ray's Price Promise means no price changing, no add-ons, and 0 hidden fees. Since they prioritize affordability for their customers, hurry in the Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. It's contagious. Today, and shop one of Chicago's largest inventories. Then drive home with more money in your pocket than you expect. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, you have to check out our team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. Say it with us at home, because they're the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, you can also visit raycdjr.com. Serving the community since 1963.
You know what I recommend? Bacon wrapped chicken.
Yes. That Rams.
That's from our friends at Family Farms.
Bacon wrapped just about anything.
That's true. Their culinary journey is woven with passion, dedication, and commitment to crafting the finest bacon wrapped chicken, a timeless delicacy that has tantalized taste buds since 1974. Are you craving a taste of home without leaving yours?
Why not?
Check out baconwrappedchicken.com, clever website, or click the link in their Amazon store, which also includes the legendary Rocky Rococo's Italian sausage.
Oh, yeah.
And to find out when their new amazing Cajun Nation flavors will become available with an authentic Louisiana bite. We got to sample the Cajun Nation stuff.
Sure did. It was good.
Good stuff. Experience the flavor that's become a family favorite for generations. Visit your nearest Woodman's, like the Bears did, Mariano's, Burkhart's, or on Amazon, and baconwrappedchicken.com.
Baconwrappedchicken.com. I love a straightforward website.
Yes.
You know exactly what you're getting when you go there.
Give
Sure
me
do.
what I want. That's what it is.
Why aren't there burgers on this website? You idiot. It's baconwrappedchicken.com.
Yeah, you don't need anything
exactly.
else.
It's perfect.
Good website. Good
Before
job.
we get into the top 10, do we want to highlight the national broadcast schedule for the Blackhawks that just was released by the joint efforts of ESPN and TNT?
Yes, we should.
Sunnyside
All right.
Summer Thursday.
Blackhawks will have 15 nationally televised games this year.
That's ranked lower than Nazar.
Everybody tune in to see Isaac Phillips.
As far as I see, only 2 ESPN Plus / Hulu exclusives. They will be the third game of a triple header to start the season, October 8th in Utah.
So that game will be dropping around 10:47.
Yeah, it's going to be a very late start time.
Get
there.
those 1 a.m. post game shows out of the way.
Is the banner raising part of that national schedule? Do we know?
For Utah?
No.
Hey there.
Is the Panthers like home opener one of the trio?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't check that.
Then we're not
I thought you were
getting
going to
on
say
to,
is
like,
Utah
11:30.
raising a banner? They're not the Predators.
Yeah, the Predators.
We're no longer owned by Alex.
Actually, you know what?
Yeah,
That
no
deserves
longer.
a banner. That actually
Because no one's going to
We're
throw
always
away
gone.
that banner.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Speaking of banner raisings, one of the 2 ESPN Plus Hulu games is October 25th against Nashville.
Awesome.
And then November 6th, we get an early Blackhawks Red Wings game. That is a TNT game. Then November 21st against the defending Stanley Cup champions. That's a home game. That is the other ESPN plus Hulu game against the Panthers. December 4th, TNT game at home against Boston. December 27th on ESPN2 is a road game against Buffalo. December 29th, the final game before the Winter Classic, is a home game on ESPN against the Dallas Stars. Then you have the Winter Classic, December 31st. Reminder, it's December 31st. That's on TNT against the Blues. Then January 5th is going to be an ABC Saturday broadcast, or I'm sorry, ABC Sunday broadcast against the New York Rangers. That's a home game. January 8th, 2 days before my birthday, home game against Colorado. That is on TNT. And then February 1st is at Florida. That is an ABC Sunday event. So how about that? February 5th is a home game against Edmonton. That's on TNT. That's an 8:30 start. So expect maybe an 8:45 start with that one.
48.
March 26th, home game against the Devils. That's on TNT. April 2nd, home game against Colorado. That is on TNT. And then April 8th is an ESPN game. It is a road game against Pittsburgh.
And then 2 of those will be blacked out in Chicago, the Boston and New Jersey games. So they'll be available on CHSN or whatever it's called.
Which games?
The game on the 4th of December against Boston, and the game on the 26th of March against the Devils.
The TNT
They'll be blacked out locally on TNT. So you have to get the local broadcast.
Okay.
The
Gotcha.
best part about those national broadcasts is we're the only local postgame show in town on those nights.
That's right. And who knows if CHSN is going to have one?
Correct.
Hire a staff.
Change the logos asking if there's any info. A little birdie told me that
Has there been any
they're
more info about the new network?
doing good with their carriage deals, and there will be announcements soon.
Yeah,
and
there's so many
that's
things.
good. We'll be able to see.
There's so many things they have
Wheelbarrows
to
full
take.
of cash like Crane Kenny.
Oh gosh, I don't know about that.
Wheelbarrows full of cash.
There's so many things they have to do before hiring the on-air talent's the last. They got to make sure people are actually going to carry.
Yes,
the
but it
network
would be
before
nice
they-
for the on-air talent to know if they're
100%
employed
agree. Hopefully,
in 3 weeks.
True. Yeah.
I agree. It's a little hectic, but as soon as we know, you'll know.
That's only my people getting pushed around.
I am with you on that. I'm on board.
Your fellow Greek
My fellow
brother.
Greeks.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know. It's they're going to cause a Greek war if our guy Charlie doesn't.
That's right.
Going to throw hot baklava at them at the
Hey,
office.
That was my wrestling.
Hey,
name.
now, don't set me with a good time.
By the way, opening night ESPN triple header actually starts at 3:30 in the afternoon with the Blues.
Isn't it a weekday?
And the Kraken from Climate. Yeah, it's a little weird. 4:30 Eastern, which means that's 1:30 in the afternoon Seattle time.
Yeah.
But maybe it's
But
a holiday
game's,
there.
The game's in Seattle?
Is that Columbus Day?
No.
No.
Is
My
it
wife's
Native
birthday.
American?
Maybe that's
October
why.
8th. Maybe it's a local holiday. Maybe it's National Throw a Fish Day in Seattle or something. or
Pearl Jam Day.
Steve Largent's birthday. It's a holiday there in Seattle.
Right.
Then it's the Panthers hosting the Bruins at 7, including the banner raising ceremony.
Okay.
So there's a 3-hour gap. This says 10 p.m. Eastern for Blackhawks.
Yeah, so it'd be 9 o'clock,
9 o'clock.
local.
If the puck is dropped by 9:15, I'll call that a win.
Sure.
I don't see that
Yeah.
happening.
Right. I mean, usually
Yeah.
the banner raising shouldn't affect the start time of the game. They'll do it nice and early. But
I hope that
if they do it in
But if
the
they want to
window.
carry it though,
well, that's why that first game is at 4:30.
all right. Yeah, I think the Hawks have been one of the first teams to like really say, "Hey, we're going to do this special stuff and we're going to do it early." So
Well,
the
that
game's not.
seems to be the
That's
trend.
the
Yeah,
smart
it's
thing
smart.
to do.
Because I don't think it's probably more the teams like we go out for skate warm up and then you do this 45-minute thing and then we start
Well,
the game where
what
they
was it?
rather do the thing then we do warm ups and then we play. The
What was
game.
it? Patrick Marlowe's jersey retirement
God,
was like
it went on for
was
7
like an
hours.
it was like an hour ceremony, and they started it like 10 minutes before puck drop was scheduled.
Right.
It was
that was
like
against
Jake
the Hawks.
Delhomme's retirement press conference.
That was
Oh,
like
ridiculous.
I don't remember that.
No,
I don't.
It's like 2
I don't-
hours.
I've completely-
You're Jake Delhomme.
I completely
Shut up.
forgot Jake Delhomme existed. until you mentioned
That's
it.
a good sitting around with a bunch of your buddies remembering old
Super
NFL
Bowl
quarterbacks.
right?
Remembering a guy.
Yes, he
Jake
was.
Delhomme. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
Patrick Marleau, who played for 600 years, went out there and thanked every single person he
Every
ever played
teammate,
with
yeah.
and against. It was the longest
I'd like to
speech
thank
ever.
He
Alex
remembered all.
A. Abraham.
He, re-
Like the
he,
Chris
he
Jericho
remembered all
scroll.
1,700 games he ever
I
played.
remember on October 29th, 2004, some kid gave me a towel in the locker room, and I didn't know who he was. I didn't thank him then, but I'm going to thank him now.
Thanks, kid.
Thanks, Mean
Yeah,
Joe. I
so,
want to
yeah,
say here.
It's going to be a late start to our season.
the TNT games are also going to be available on True TV and HBO Max, or just Max, I guess is now what it's called. So I don't know if that negates the local TNT blackout. Like maybe you won't see it on TNT, but if you have
Oh, interesting.
Max,
Yeah, maybe.
you can watch
Sure.
it through that.
Yeah,
or
that's a
something.
new thing we're going to have to figure out this year.
Yeah. So
Max
I
blackouts and
haven't
such.
watched sports
I have
on
a
Max, but I know it's available.
Isn't Max Hulu, like Max and Hulu
Max
are
is
combined or
HBO.
something?
You can get- you-
no, Hulu's Disney.
but I think they
ESPN.
integrate.
Yeah, they're all.
I had
they're
a
all
Hulu Disney
ESPN,
ESPN bundle.
and I think Max is.
And I added
part of that
Max
now.
to it, yeah,
you
when
can
I
buy
had it.
It's all.
Yeah.
It's almost
I love
like it's
bundling.
almost like cable TV.
Yeah.
If they could
Love
all
it.
put it in one spot
Right. You'd have cable
and
TV.
have access to
That's
all
why I
of it
went
at
back
once.
to cable. I'm like, wait a
That's why
minute.
I
I'm like
still-
doing the math. I got the green visor on, you know? I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
I
Cable's
went-
cheaper.
I went back to cable.
Yeah.
It's just easier.
But yeah, all right. So there's your schedule.
I
Not
mean,
a lot
it's-
of what was it, 1, 2, just 4 of these 15 games are road games. So they'll have quick math 11 national TV home games. Like that's
Well, it also means
cool.
more
Hell
Darren
yeah.
Payne.
that's cool.
Because a lot of those games Darren Payne would
For
miss
TN
for TNT. Were
Yeah,
going
but
to
he'll be on.
Yeah,
He'll be on
so-
TNT. Yep.
Right.
It's awesome.
That's good. I'm the fact that they're on 15 times. I think obviously people want to see Connor Bedard, but I think there's more to it than that. Like I think the Hawks are generally a draw anyway because they're an original 6 team. But if they were the team they were last year, I don't know if TNT and ESPN are as interested in carrying 15 of those games.
No,
And it's 9-1 Panthers.
no, I think it's
The
yeah.
TJ Brody effect. You get TJ Brody, they
That's
put
it.
you on
Sure.
national TV.
That's it.
No, yeah, I think it's obviously it's Bedard. He's a draw, but I think it's it's the team, it's the market, it's the team on hopefully getting towards the upswing of the rebuild, and yeah, what they did this offseason made them on paper, theoretically, potentially all the qualifiers, more watchable and more competitive.
And it also helps to put, yes, the Blackhawks are playing in an original 6 market, a worldwide team, third biggest market in the U.S., but they're also one of the most hated teams in the league. And that helps ratings too, because
People hate
people want to
watch.
watch them lose.
Yeah, people hate watch.
They do. People hate watch. That's why we have so many viewers on our show.
Sure,
That's why Notre Dame has its own.
We got our
network.
thumbs down.
Exactly. See, we
perfect.
Right on
Thank
cue.
you.
keep hate watching. As long as you're watching.
That's right. Notre Dame starts season Saturday. Can't wait.
Which powerhouse are they playing to open the season?
Rice.
Texas A&M, I believe.
Yeah,
Is
they
it?
actually have a real game.
Oh, they actually have a difficult
Yeah.
game. Cool.
It's weeks 2 through 11.
Oh, I'm sorry. They don't get to
actual
play
team.
Appalachian State every year like Michigan.
No, they just play Navy and
They play,
Army.
There's a reason they play Navy. There's history behind it.
Is there?
They kept the school open during the war.
Mm.
So they've been helping
Yeah,
each other out for
yeah.
centuries. Should they just turn their back on the U.S.? Why do you hate the troops?
Yeah, nobody cares.
Why do you hate the troops?
I
Is that
think
William Nylander?
Yes.
yeah,
That's a
I
tease
think
to it.
Greg
Spoiler
and
alert,
William
it's gonna be on our
Nylander
list.
both hate the troops. That's what I. That's
They're
what
not
I get.
troops, they're sailors.
Oh, boy. That was Greg Boysen. You can find Greg on Twitter at Greg
I don't hate the
Boysen.
troops. And I don't hate the sailors either.
Notre Dame is playing 1.
My grandfather was in
2.
the Navy and WW2.
Nice.
Go
3.
Sailors.
You know
As
what
of
would
right now,
be?
3 ranked teams.
You know
Well,
what
that's
I
not a
think
lot.
is a huge missed opportunity by EA Sports College Football 25 is if you go to Navy or you go to Army as your Road to Glory player. When you're done with your career, you don't go to the NFL.
Go to
It
Call
just
of Duty.
loads up Call of Duty.
That'd be awesome.
That would be fun.
Now you're thinking.
That's
Yeah.
a good secret little
That would be fun.
Little Easter egg.
Easter egg
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. All right, we're going to actually begin Top 10 Thursday here on the other side of the break zone. If you've not done it yet, please do us a favor and hit that like button. If you think Frank Nazar got screwed, smash that like button for us.
I do.
We would appreciate
And if you think
that.
he's appropriately ranked, smash
Yes,
that
also
like
smash
button.
it there.
Also
too.
smash the like
exactly. All right, we're gonna hit the break zone here. Then Top 10 Thursday starts on CHGO Blackhawks.
And speaking of football, whether it's pro or college, the app to bet football is Circa Sports Illinois. That's right. Circa Sports is sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois has high bet limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. The best around, I've heard. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Spreads, props, futures, or in-game, Circa Sports has it all. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
There you go. Easy enough. And speaking of easy,
That was less than a minute.
Greg and I had an easy time last night finding tickets to Pearl Jam
You sure did.
on Game Time. We got, what, $190 face value tickets for $80?
Nice.
We got a pair.
Obstructed view, or no, you're
No,
all good?
No.
Nice.
We got our pair of tickets cost less than one of those tickets did face value. So
And
thank
you-
you for whoever got
Thank
really
you.
desperate to get rid
Yeah,
of those
really.
tickets.
And you
And
saved
thank you,
$20 by
Saved
using the
$20
code
by
CHGO.
CHGO at the promo code at checkout. Took $20 right off that bill. It made those cheap tickets even cheaper.
Yes, we love Game Time, and they have a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. It's amazing. Their Game Time Picks curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. And they've got that all-in pricing. You toggle that feature, and it shows the total up front
Love that.
with no surprise fees at checkout. And we love, you came in handy yesterday as we're going through, 5 or 6 different options, the panoramic view from your seat to see, is it obstructed? Do we got a clean view of the stage? All that stuff. You get that at Game Time. And they've got their lowest price guarantee. Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference if you find it cheaper elsewhere. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game
Game
time.
time.
Game time.
Is that Pearl Jam show tonight?
Tonight and Saturday.
Tonight.
We're
and
going tonight.
You're going tonight.
I am a big fan of the older bands that play 2 nights in the same city and take a day off in between, because as an older guy myself, I enjoy that day off. They need the rest. I need the rest. It's a perfect situation.
Remember we were talking to Sarah about parking, and she's like, why don't you guys just walk a couple miles? We're like, what?
Yeah, just walk a couple.
We want
miles.
to get to the concert.
Yeah.
I don't want to be dead on Broadway.
The walking to is fine. The walking
Yeah.
back, that's when it's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
The night of the was that the first one with the lightning storm and it went to like 1:30 or whatever it was?
That was, yeah.
We parked. Oh my goodness! I think we were at like Irving and Damon or something, and I just remember walking and walking.
It's a
and
long
walking
walk.
at like 1:30 in the morning. It
Yeah.
was a lot.
When,
Yeah, the walk there is not bad because you're excited to get there, but that walk home after a concert, your feet hurt because you've been standing,
Yeah.
you've been having a great time, like
Right.
you're coming down, that adrenaline is over, that walk back sucks.
Yeah, the adrenaline dump mile walk back to your car is a tough one.
Yeah, but to save $100, it's not.
Yes,
it's worth it.
exactly. All right, on to Top 10 Thursday. But first, this from Google. Amidst the chaos of war, Navy designated Notre Dame as
Still
a
on
training
this.
center and provided crucial financial support, ensuring the university's survival during a time of crisis. This act of generosity cemented a special relationship between Notre Dame and Navy, rooted in mutual respect and gratitude.
Yeah, it also helps that they suck at football and it's an easy win every year.
Navy has not always sucked at football, though. There was a time where that option was unstoppable,
Right.
baby.
Yeah,
It was
triple
back
option.
when Notre Dame.
It's back when they kept the school open in 1942.
All
Yeah.
right.
Well,
Go talk
Good
to,
to know.
go guest on our Big Ten. Oh wait, they're not in the Big Ten either. Never
They're in
mind.
hockey.
they are Chicago's Big Ten team, though.
Well, someone has to be. All right, let's get to it. Top 10 Thursday.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yay,
Why everyone's
Top 10
here.
Thursday. Last
Top
week
10
we did
right
left
wings.
wings. This week we're doing right wings. Unlike the lazy NHL network who does wingers, and then throws a bunch of centers in there too. Do you want to get your grievance out of the way early?
Yeah.
All
Sam Reinhart and Steven Stamkos are top 10 right wings in the NHL according to my list and logic. So for the reasons that they're not on this list, don't yell at me. I had them on mine.
Because they're
and then I
centers.
was told to take them off because some websites said that they were centers.
Reminds me of a conversation you initiated about Tim Stützle not being a left winger 2 weeks ago.
But my reasoning was that the NHL Network said Tim Stützle was a center.
Proving our point.
Well,
NHL Network said Steven Stamkos and Sam Reinhart were wings. So
for reference,
that's what I went off of.
over the last 3 seasons since Sam Reinhart got to the Florida Panther, he's taken nearly 1,400 faceoffs. Steven Stamkos in the last 3 seasons has taken over 2,600 faceoffs. That sounds like a center to me.
Are you saying only centers take faceoffs?
Well,
That
that
many?
many? Yeah.
Yes.
If Sam Reinhart took 82 faceoffs last year, I'd say, yeah, he's a winger. But NHL.com, the Florida Panthers, and Hockey Reference all have them
Daily
as centers.
faceoff.
We don't trust them.
Line combinations, Florida Panthers. Left wing, Carter Verhaeghe. Center, on Alexander Barkov. Right wing, Sam Reinhart.
Well, yell at NHL.com.
Yeah, get Colby
Tampa
Cohen on
Bay
the phone.
Lightning.
Yell at him.
Where's Stamkos?
Probably down the middle
You
somewhere.
can get him in there next week.
Oh, they're showing it as of
Yeah, right. He's not on that.
July.
Yeah, they're
He's not-
speculating.
He's
So
not
those
on
are
that team
speculating.
anymore.
Those aren't even
Speculative
real
lines.
That's clickbait lines from Daily Faceoff.
All right,
Steven
number 10.
Stamkos is a left wing on Daily Faceoff.
See, he
so,
wouldn't be on this list either.
all right, whatever.
All right. Anyway,
I've grievance explained.
okay. You feel better?
No, but
Okay.
whatever.
Well, we're going to move on to the actual right wingers in the NHL, not centers who moonlight as right wingers.
Not Tony D'Angelo right wingers. Guys that play the right wing position.
Right, exactly. Number 10, we have a former friend. We have
He's still our friend.
Alex DeBrincat of the Detroit Red Wings sneaking on our list. 27 goals, 67 points last year. His first year with the his hometown Detroit Red Wings. 1 more point than his year
Home state.
in Ottawa. Still had his best seasons with the Hawks. Still looking for that magic, but you know, he's an elite sniper. Got off to an amazing start, and then when they needed him the most, like in March and April, was nowhere to be found. But I
Yeah.
still think he deserves to be on this list just because the kid can score a goal.
100%.
2 40-goal seasons in Chicago.
And a 32-goal season.
Yeah, in a 52 games. But then back-to-back years, 27 goals each in the last 2 years, 66 and 67 points. But he improved his plus-minus from a -31 to a +1 year
That's
over
good.
year. So that's incredible.
Career high 40 assists last season.
Pretty good.
So having reunited with Patrick Kane definitely got him some more helpers. But
Yeah, and I feel like 27 goals is an underachievement. I think he underachieved in Ottawa. I think because he just his heart probably wasn't in it.
didn't want to be there like
Last-
everybody else.
Yeah,
Except
last
Claude
year
Giroux.
I think there was some underachievements across the board in Detroit. So I think this year I would like to believe that we're going to see Alex DeBrincat get back into that 30-goal category, and you hope, if you're a Red Wings fan, you hope that's the Alex DeBrincat
Well, yeah, I
you're
think-
getting.
Too, and when we saw the Hawks kind of decide, like, well, we either got to sign this guy long term or get something back for him.
Yeah.
They kind of identified the fact that he's not a guy that's going to do it on his own. He's a really nice complementary piece. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's still a top 10 right winger in the league. Like, he's a great player, but I don't think that he can be your best or highest paid player. He's
No, I
a
don't
really
think so.
nice complementary player on a good team, and that we'll see if Detroit's good or not. They've sort of struggled to get there, but
If he were a prospect, he'd be 14th on my list. DeBrincat was like on pace to put up at least 30 goals. And then from February 29th until April 11th, he had 1 goal.
It's tough.
For a team that barely missed the playoffs, and you're
Yeah.
making that kind of money, you need to score goals during that time of the season.
Yeah.
If he scores 5 goals in that stretch, they might make the playoffs instead of just 1.
Yeah, it could make the difference.
but still a good player. I do have to say overall, right wing, left is not as many good players as the left side.
Yeah, left side is
Better
way
left-
more elite.
Better left
Oh,
wingers.
we're
All right.
two guys that I think would improve this position. We're not allowed to be on the list, but whatever.
I'm going to quote Frozen and say, let it go.
I'm gonna quote Frozen and say no. They say that word at least once.
They
in that
probably, I
movie.
would imagine they do say it once in
Yeah.
there.
All right. Number 9, Andrei Svechnikov of
Yeah.
the Carolina Hurricanes.
All the Michigan goals.
This is a guy that I think, as you just said about Alex DeBrincat, is a guy that's like not the star guy himself, can't do it all.
Yep.
I still think he hasn't even reached his full potential, even though he's been in the league now for 6 years, but he's
only
still
24,
He's
24.
24. Yeah, he won't be 25 until March. If this guy could shake the injury bug, he always seems to have some sort of injury that causes him to miss 20, 30 games a
Yeah.
year. But 59 games last year, still put up 19 goals and 52 points. Has elite speed. It's got that size that you like, 6'2", 195. Not the biggest guy in the world, but,
Solid.
you know, that kind of size gets you ranked higher on a list than only being 5'10". So that's why he's 9th and DeBrincat is 10th.
Sure.
Yeah, he's. I think at worst, he's gonna be a really good player for a really long time. But like you said, I think Svechnikov's best days are ahead of him, and maybe now that Carolina lost a little bit, the opportunity is going to be there for him a little more.
Yeah.
More top power play time, all that sort of stuff. So you can see those numbers go up. And we talked about it. I think it was last week. Like 25, 26, 27 is when guys hit their prime. And you start to see those numbers go up. So I think there's a lot more to come from him. But even if this is just who he is, it's a really effing good player.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's
Can I say effing?
you can.
Okay.
I believe.
It's a vodka.
Check
Yeah, I
the
was gonna
rule
say
book.
it's a brand of booze, isn't it?
Yeah.
They don't sponsor it.
52 points in 59 games. I mean, he is, for his career, flirted with, close to point per game, paces in his career. So, yeah, if he could stay healthy, like, I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be relied upon much more in Carolina now. And I think he's been at or above a 20-goal pace in each of his NHL seasons, 30 goals 2 seasons ago. Like he has all the talent in the world. Stay on the ice, and I think he's has the potential to lead the Hurricanes in points this year. Him and Sebastian Aho, they're going to be the top 2 guys for sure.
Yeah. All right, we move to number 8, and it's number 88.
Here you go. Our friend Patrick Kane, or as Hockey Reference calls him, Buzz, Doc, Peekaboo, Little Peekaboo, Peaks, Little Peaks, Kanye, and Patty Cakes.
I don't want to know where the peak stuff comes from.
I cannot. Okay.
Does he do like the ice and gum trick? Is that why they call him peekaboo?
Maybe.
I'm adding all of those to my nickname
Google
or
that if you don't know
nonsense
what
segment this year.
Yeah, those are
Jesus.
silly names, but not.
No one's ever called him those things.
Not,
That can't be
not
real.
on a broadcast or
Not to his
anything like that.
face.
Yeah. But you know what's not silly? 20 goals and 47 points in 50 games, coming off that hip surgery that not many people have ever really had success
Yeah.
coming from.
Yeah.
Coming back from just a really great year. Had that moment in, at the Blackhawks' expense on Chelios Day. Of course, he wins it in overtime.
I think I started packing as soon as I saw him get the breakaway. Like, well, this is inevitable. This is absolutely going to happen.
Yeah. Mhm.
I mean,
Ugh.
Hollywood writers wouldn't have written it better than that, but
They would have wrote that, and you would have said, "That's crap."
no way that would have
That
happened.
wouldn't happen.
I hate this movie.
Yeah.
Um,
He's just ageless, man. He's
well, doubt him at your own.
Yeah.
It's seriously impressive.
you can honestly say that Patrick Kane is a better player over the last 5 years than he was when they were winning cups. Like in terms of just the complete game and like the ability to score despite having no help around him. Like, yeah, he had massively huge moments on those cup teams. I'm not taking anything away, but to still maintain the point output he does and to be as effective as he is after, like you said, the injury and everything. It's remarkable. The guy's unbelievable.
To do it playing through an injury,
Right,
is impressive.
His best season is at 44 goals, 110 points for the 2018-19 Blackhawks, who did not make the playoffs.
right.
Him,
And
Taves,
then 92
and,
points in 21-22. Yeah, Taves, Kane, and DeBrincat all had
career years that year,
and they missed the playoffs. Jeremy Colleton.
Yeah, for Patrick Kane. He's again. The Red Wings are going to need him to be that type of player again this year, and to come back from the hip resurfacing was impressive. It's the track record of that surgery, and athletes that get it, they come back and they don't have a long time that they play. I think Nick Backstrom had it. He only lasted maybe 2 seasons after the surgery. Yeah. So it's encouraging to see Patrick Kane have the ability, have the output he did last year. And I think Detroit is just really hoping that continues and that he's one of the outliers of that surgery. And if he is, I mean, it's just going to keep padding the already Hall of Fame career that he's put together.
All right, next up on the list, number 7.
We have Brock Besser of the Vancouver Canucks having a career year last year, just like pretty much everybody else on that team.
Yeah, breakout year for him, man.
Boy, I always worry about teams where everybody has career years the following year.
We shot 19%, so
that's totally sustainable.
Pretty good.
But he's 13.8 for his career, so it wasn't like he went from 8% to 19. But 40 goals, 73 points last season. First time scoring more than 30, but in his 7 full seasons in the NHL, he now has 5 seasons of at least 23 goals. His production's been going up. He was plus 23 last year as well. He's a good two-way player as well. Another one of those UND North Dakota boys that just gets it done. Interesting to see where he does this season. He had the breakout year last year. The Canucks kind of surprised everybody. They're not going to surprise anybody this year.
No.
Like, people are going to know, all right, we probably, under-evaluated them last year, and they snuck up on us. And, the Edmonton Oilers not starting their season until December helped.
Yeah.
So if the Oilers actually start on time this year, then there may be a different story in that division. But you want to hear Brock Besser's nicknames on Hockey Reference before we move on? Boss, that makes sense.
Sure.
The Flow. Mr. Sensitive. Sunshine.
That one I get. Yeah.
Prince Charming.
Sure.
And my favorite, Brockstar.
That's again, a good one.
But you know what? If I walked into the locker room and said, "Hey there, Sunshine," I'd get punched in the face.
Oh, you sure? You for
hey,
sure
Prince
would.
Charming, how are you over there, Sunshine?
Yeah,
you sure would.
That's how you get a stick in the face.
Brockstar is a good one.
I like Brockstar.
What was the other one? Sunshine.
Mr. Sensitive. And the Flow.
Okay, I'm looking that up immediately.
No one calls him that.
Brock Bozer.
Mr. Sensitive, I'm open.
Mr.
Hey, Sunshine, pass me the puck.
No. So dumb.
It's bad. All right. Moving right along. Who's the next guy?
Number
that
6.
Has bad nickname? Oh, we have our guy, Clayton Keller of the brand new Utah Hockey Players.
By the way, the more time that goes on, I know they haven't chosen Yeti, the less I like Yeti as a team name.
Again, I could care less about the name. Just get the logo and the uniform right.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because there's a lot of bad names out there, but they got cool uniforms.
That's true.
There's also a lot of bad names and bad uniforms out there. Nashville Predators.
Yes.
Clayton Keller, this is a guy that I think gets overlooked a lot because he plays in Arizona. And
right.
Because he still plays in Utah, he'll probably still get overlooked, but not as overlooked. Last season, quietly had a monster season. Nobody talked about it. 33 goals, 76 points in 78
to be fair, PHNX
games.
talked about it.
Right.
It did.
And what I also learned from talking to our guy, Petey at PHNX, and Craig Morgan has said this too. If you want defense, do not put Clayton Keller on your team.
That's fine.
I remember there was a game at the Hawks. I had one of those fun little over-under picks about his ice time, and he played like 2 minutes in the third period. And I texted Petey. I was like, why is that happening? He goes, watch him play defense. You'll know why. He was a -20 last season. He's a -61 in his career, but the kid can score.
Yeah.
In 7 full NHL seasons, he has 166 goals and 416 points. So not bad for a kid that's back-to-back seasons, 33 and 37 goals.
Yeah. He's one of those reasons that one of the many that you hated to see the Coyotes moving, just because it was just like Arizona, that market, they finally had like a guy that was just like, oh, he's like a star NHL player. And because it was Arizona, it wasn't like he was on the, in the limelight all that much, but he's going to be that guy again for Utah.
It's good to see him. He's locked up in a nice deal too. He's got 7.15 for the next 4 seasons. That's a tremendous deal for him.
Pretty good if you score 30 plus a season.
Yeah.
All right, top 5. Here we come. Number 5.
Lucas Raymond money.
Mr. Sensitive, by the way, for Brock Besser, was a nickname that apparently was on a Vancouver news video from 2020 where Jake Virtanen was asked about nicknames, and he called Besser Mr. Sensitive. So Jake Virtanen can stick it.
Yeah, I don't.
It's not a real nickname.
Yeah, Jake Virtanen's done a lot of questionable things in his life, and that nickname is one of them. Anyway, number 5, we're going to Toronto. We're going to be here for a little while. William Nylander.
Best Nylander.
The greatest Nylander.
Not named Alex, is 5th on our list. 82 games last season, and then got migraines in the playoffs. 40 goals, 98 points.
Pretty good.
Coming out, well, I wouldn't say coming out season, but it's his second straight 40-goal season, third straight with at least 34 goals. This is a kid that puts up, and then, the Maple Leafs do what they do, and every year they switch who to blame. This year it was Mitch Marner. The year before it was William Nylander. The year before that it was Mitch Marner. Then it was Austin Matthews. Yep. But, hey, kid brings it. He's a special talent. Great goal scorer, but also racks up the assists as well. I would think based on his progression, 100-point season
could be
just
there.
Needs 2 more points for a 100-point season. I think he could get there. And the playoff stuff, 54 career playoff games, 20 goals and 43 points. That's still pretty
Not
good.
Bad.
This past season, I remember he missed those first 3 games because he got the migraines.
Yeah.
Came back and played the final 4 games of that series, had 3 goals.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a big part of that, Amazon documentary that's coming out. That's made by the Drive to Survive people. And I saw a preview for that, and they're showing him, like, at home watching the Leafs in the playoffs, and he's, like, clearly devastated that he can't play. Like, it's...
I mean, I would imagine so. I would imagine, like, you work all that time during the regular season to get to the postseason and be in a position to compete for the Stanley Cup, and then you're not able to, and you already have, a media market and a fan base that's dissecting every move you make on and off the ice, and then to be out with migraines, I'm sure he, couldn't escape the everything that was being said about him at that time. Like, man, I would take William Nylander on the Blackhawks at any moment possible. He is just a guy that can make so many different plays.
Got to complete the set.
40 yeah, exactly. Got to catch them all, right?
Yeah.
A 40-goal scorer, like he's super creative, super skilled. He's an incredible player.
Yeah, it's just people are really quick to jump on and call people soft.
Yeah.
After playing 82 games and having a career year, suddenly he can't go and he's soft and weak. Okay.
Well, speaking of guys,
31 other teams would love him.
Yeah, and speaking of guys that get criticized in Toronto, number 4 on our list is Mitch Marner, the guy that was the scapegoat last season in the playoffs. In 69 nice regular season games, he had 26 goals, 59 assists. That's 85 points. That's more than a point per game.
Whoa.
Last time I checked.
Definitely more.
69 is all over his career.
It's a good number.
He does it on purpose.
Played 69 games last season, had 69 assists the season before, and 69 points in his second year. So very nice player, that young Mitch Marner, who
He was a 100-point pace last year.
yes, future Blackhawk, maybe, possibly.
I wouldn't hate it.
I would not hate it either.
I just don't think the salary cap is going to be there for
He's
it
a
now.
creative, he's got like that Patrick Kane ability to like find guys on the ice and make those passes that nobody and can score.
He's that early version of Patrick Kane, but then also
plays
commits to
defense.
playing defense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Selke finalist.
Yeah.
2 years ago, was it? Yeah, 2 years ago was a
Yeah.
Selke finalist. So yes, imagine if Patrick Kane played above average defense. That's what you pretty much have there, and
Jeez.
that's a pretty good combination right there.
Mm-hmm.
And for the people that say, well, he doesn't show up in the playoffs, that's a bunch of hooey too. 57 career playoff games, 11 goals, 50 points, almost a point per game guy in the playoffs. Just a goal and 2 assists this past season, but last year 14 points in 11 games, 8 points in 7 games the year before. I mean, like when the Maple Leafs do their yearly April collapse, it's not because of one guy.
Well, they're always trying to. It's always the stars too that they go to blame. It's always like you said, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Suarez. It's always
gosh darn TJ Brody. 2 TJ Brodies in one day. Yes.
gonna have a lot more of those coming.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the whole place is weird. It's just hard to understand. And
Yeah. Well,
I mean, someone has to. I mean, it's probably going to be Tavares.
they blame the same couple of guys because it's the same guys that are the highest paid players and have to shoulder the most load. But that's the way the team's been built.
Well, it's
If they're not going, the team doesn't go.
It's part of the deal. When you're the highest paid guy or one of the highest paid guys, you take the brunt of the criticism. Ask Seth Jones about that.
Sure.
So it
will.
comes with the territory. Ask him about his nicknames too.
Oh, what are his nicknames? Keep going with the list. I don't want to delay the
right.
show.
Number 3. Here's where we had a little debate. 2 and 3 was
it's just Jonesy.
a flip-floppy with us because number 1 was unanimous. But number 3 goes to one of my favorite players in the entire league, Mikko Rantanen. Talk about a guy that I would
Love that.
do
guy.
whatever I can to become a Blackhawk
Horrible
next
things.
summer. But I don't think that's ever going to be. I can't see how the Moose even hits free agency. But another huge season, 42 goals, 104 points in 80 games. The year before, 55 goals and 105 points in 82 games, and finished
And that was
6th in Hart voting, which was
Yeah.
a bunch of hooey.
That was when McKinnon and Landeskog and Nikushkin were all out for.
Makar lost,
Yeah.
missed a bunch of games.
Yeah.
He was the only reason. He dragged them to the Central Division Championship and was 6th in Hart voting. He would have gotten my first place vote 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Just an awesome player, kind of a throwback to your big winger that scores goals. Mikko Rantanen would have been one of the best players in the league had he played in the late 90s. He's still one of the
He
best
still is,
players
yeah,
now,
yeah,
but
yeah.
he would have been like the guy back then because
Oh, yeah.
he's that type of player that everybody craved. He's the guy that people were just wishing Eric Daze would have been.
Oh my God, that would have been nice.
Yes, but
Nice.
he's awesome player. There's little bad things to say about Mikko Rantanen. We'll leave that to our DNVR crew.
All right, let's get to number 2 here.
Number
Quickly, while
2,
we can.
one of my favorite things in the world, pasta. David Pastrnak,
Nice.
the Boston Bruins. It's so hard. You can't go wrong with 1, 2, or 3 here.
I had Rantanen too, but
It was a debate. But David Pastrnak, 47 goals, 63 assists last year, played in all 110 or all 82 games, 110 points, second straight season of at least 110 points. Last 2022-23, 61 goals and 113 points. Hasn't missed a game in 2 years. Fought Matthew Tkachuk in the playoffs.
yeah, how about that?
Makes great Dunkin' Donuts commercials. Aside from playing on the Bruins, there's not a bad thing you could really say about David
That's
Pastrnak.
it. He's
Seems like a
great-
fun,
I mean,
good guy.
all those
and
factors
a
you
elite
just
player.
rattled off are why I had him two above Rantanen. Like, he is, to me, one of the untouchable guys in hockey. He is absolutely great. Before we get to number 1, Nikita Kucherov, if you can't figure that out.
Hey.
We want to remind everybody to
turn
become
off.
a diehard today. Go to allchgo.com. You'll get access to our members-only Discord. You'll get a free shirt or hat upon sign-up. You'll save 20% all the time at the All-City Network store, and that goes across all of our stations: Dallas, Philly, Phoenix, us,
Denver.
DNVR, everybody. You save 20% on everything at the new store. So go check that out. You save on all of our tailgates and all that great stuff. So become a diehard today. It's a great way to help us out. We would really appreciate it if you did that for us. Again, go to allchgo.com to become a CHGO diehard today.
By the way, Pasta, I'll say this. He's no Patrick Sharp. I was looking for a photo of him, and
No.
he's not
No,
good-looking. He's not winning any beauty pageants anytime soon.
He's an ugly guy though.
No.
his hair.
He's silly looking.
I saw a picture of him without
He's
the
a
helmet.
goofy looking bastard. Put the one back up that you had on the list. I think you found maybe the worst picture of David
No,
Pastrnak ever.
come on, that's great.
It's not bad.
He's celebrating a goal.
He looks like Ole Jokinen from the Waffle Gift.
Yes,
in
he
that
does.
picture.
That might be the ugliest. There's another top 10
No.
Thursday ugliest players of all time.
Rod
Brindamore.
Brindamore.
No one will ever beat Mike Ricci as the ugliest player.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
wait,
a good one.
yeah,
We are absolutely doing this.
I mean, Brindamore was
Brindamore is not ugly. He
Brindamore's
just
not
has
ugly.
hockey face.
Yeah.
He just, his face has
he's
been
got slight-
rearranged.
He's not an ugly guy. He just has
Scars
damage
and
from playing.
busted up
His
nose.
nose is up here.
Isn't that what we're talking about?
Well, no, because we're talking about like dudes are born ugly.
Yeah.
David Pasternak's not.
Like
Ugly.
guys, if you saw walking down the street coming towards you, you cross the street to get
Yeah.
away. That kind of ugly.
Like Jeremy Roenick is a good example of hockey face guy.
Yeah.
Hockey face.
Not
Right,
a
like,
bad looking guy.
When he
but
entered the league, he was a heartthrob, and then his nose went up here, like you said. His
Yeah.
ears over here, like
His
everything's
jaw
out of
in
whack.
4 different
Yeah.
places.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Luke Richardson's got scars all over his face and stuff.
Luke's a good-looking guy.
He's got hockey guy face.
He's not on this list. I think Luke is very handsome,
Yeah.
even in his current state.
Beautiful man.
Yeah, and that's not because we have to stand 5 feet away from him within arm's reach.
and that he could kill us.
And we're not
anyways.
going to call him ugly.
Hey, yo, ugly. Why
Remember when,
are you starting this guy in goalie?
Remember when someone made a David Pastrnak out of spaghetti and gave it to him at the Winter Classic?
Yeah.
It was like a statue made of
Fusilli
Pasta.
David Pastrnak.
Pasta Pasternak.
so weird.
Good stuff.
Yes. All right, let's move on
All
to
right,
number
this-
one on
Number
the list.
one.
This had to be unanimous, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
No
for
doubt. It's Nikita Kucherov.
Can't put up 170 points
mean,
or whatever he had.
Just
and
insanely good.
when we get to the point of the year, where we get to a show where we do our overall top 10 players,
he'll be on it.
he'll be on it, and
Yes.
he may be
Top
very
5?
close to this spot.
It's top 5.
44 goals, 100 assists.
Jeez.
100
That's
assists.
insane.
That's like Gretzky-esque on that. 144 total points.
That's insane.
His second
that's
straight
insane.
season with over 100 points. Fourth of his career.
You know what? I'm changing my vote. He's only 5'11", so he can't be good.
5'11" on skates.
Took 4 faceoffs, so not a center.
Are we sure?
Yes. He's taken 20 in his career, not a center. So
If he scored 0 goals, he still would have been 10th in the league in points this year.
yeah, that's
crazy.
impressive. And people got mad when they were like talking about him to win the Hart. I kind of think he should have. There's
That's 144
I mean,
points.
a lot.
not to take anything away from Nathan McKinnon, who's awesome, but
Yes, of course.
you take McKinnon off of the Avs for 30 games. Avs are still going to be okay.
Yeah.
Proven the year before when
Right.
Mikko Rantanen scored 55. You take Nikita Kucherov off the Lightning for 30 games, they don't make the playoffs.
No
The
chance.
Avs would still make the playoffs without McKinnon for 30 games. They did it 2 years ago. They won the division
Yeah.
2 years ago without him for a bunch of games. You take Nikita Kucherov for 20 games, and they don't make the playoffs last year.
It's interesting. I wonder why the I don't know if it's market or maybe because he's Russian that people just like don't
I think
It's because he
I don't know.
disrespected the All-Star.
Oh, my
game.
God.
that
Just
definitely,
double wank with that one.
No, I'm serious. That probably didn't help.
God.
And
How
Guess
dare
what?
How dare
None
he?
of them do.
yeah, but
How
he
dare
was.
he?
But he's honest about it. You're supposed to lie and smile for
okay.
the camera and tell Justin Bieber he's great.
Smile more, toots.
Play grab ass with Mitch Marner and in the locker room.
Sunshine. You gotta say Sunshine.
Oh, sorry, Sunshine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Second most points in the league, 144 behind since the 04-05 lockout for Kucherov last season. Only behind McDavid's 153 that he put out 2 years ago. And he and McDavid this season each had 100 assists. It's the first time that's also happened since the 04-05 lockout. Just some stats there on Kucherov. Impressive.
That's why he's number one on our
impressive.
Yeah, he's absolutely insane. Just a great player. And you could argue too, like there's a lot of good ahead for him too. Like the arrow does not seem to be pointed down. He's 31, which is kind of when you start to see signs of that. But he's just getting better and better.
He's not showing it yet.
How about 167 points and 147 playout? Like the guy's unreal. What's crazy to me is he finished last year. He had 113 points and finished a -2.
That's hard to do.
What the hell?
That's hard. Well, I mean, if 50 of those points are on the power play, you don't get plus minus.
He had 30 on the power play
All
last
right, so
year.
then that makes him a minus.
Oh, I'm sorry, 50. My bad.
How many did he have on the power play?
50 last year.
So that
screen
makes
jumped.
him a -2 in 53 or 63 points.
Yeah,
which is still hard to do.
it's still hard to do. Yes.
His best career plus minus was the 2014-15 season. He was a plus 38 with 65 points.
I'll take
He's
him
good.
on my team.
Yes, please.
Want
All
to pay
right.
off the Frank Nazar poll in a
Yeah,
the
let's
YouTube
do that.
channel?
Thanks for the
We
reminder.
did that.
Look at me, remembering.
Because I
things.
forgot, as predicted.
We did ask you, where would you rank Frank Nazar among Blackhawks prospects? 59% of you voted in the top 3.
Yeah,
After that, it
that
was
works.
between 4 and 6 was 36% of the vote. Between 7 and 10, just 5%, and 11 or lower is only 1%.
All right, Corey Pronman watching the show.
Thank you, Corey.
Thanks,
Well,
Corey.
We did tag him.
Please hit the like button,
Yeah.
Corey.
Well, I mean, look, like
He's the one that hit the dislike button.
I
too.
emailed him and told him, like, your
One of
list
3.
pissed off Hawks fans. You have Frank Nazar too low. And he agreed to come on tomorrow. So tomorrow at 2:30, he will defend his position, which is great.
Get your tomatoes ready.
I also just want to talk to him anyway. He's a good hockey
Oh,
mind
yeah.
who,
Yeah.
you know, I'd like to get his thoughts on how the Hawks are doing. I know he rated their draft an A. He clearly loves what they're doing. To have a
Yeah.
guy like Frank Nazar that low, he probably loves the Hawks, what the Hawks are doing more than most.
I wonder maybe
wonder.
something slipped through the cracks of the editor's desk at The Athletic, and maybe he meant to have Frank Nazar at number 4,
Fat finger it.
and Lucas
Well,
Reichel was at number 14,
I don't know.
and whoops, forgot to change it.
That would be.
Stranger things have happened in the world of editing
I would assault an editor if that happened on my piece.
because it would make me look kind of bad.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know.
All right, well,
We'll ask him tomorrow.
and we will say when you're here tomorrow at 2:30 and Corey is on there,
Be
and you can
nice.
see your comments.
Be nice.
You don't have to be dicks to him. We're gonna have him on. We're gonna challenge him. You don't have to call him stupid or weird or whatever you want to call him on. Just be nice, be respectful. He's giving us his time, which we
Yeah.
appreciate. And again, we had him on before and he was great. Like,
Yeah.
we're disagreeing on something.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world.
Let
Don't have
us
to
be
personal.
disrespectful. Too.
Yes, exactly. We'll just
No,
start
I'm
the
just
show.
kidding.
We should just get Braggs on our show for that one segment. What the hell's wrong with you? And he can put the F. Corey Pronman sign up,
Sure.
and then he'll leave.
Yeah,
and
It'll
then
have to be edited though.
We'll be
no,
professionals.
not yet. Not yet.
Gotta
We have
blur
to
it
get rid
out.
of that soon, but not yet.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for being here. Please smash that like button on your way out. And remember, become a diehard at allchgo.com. Do it. We would love you for that. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 2:30 right here on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.